What we're trying to do is trying to marry the boring world of banking with an exciting world of travel.
Need a new way to travel cash-free? Need a new way to get a visa? Need a new way to pay abroad? Need a new way to save on international spends?
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of our, I don't know if this is our podcast. Is that what it is? All right. It's slightly different this time. We're going to drill down into what Niyo, which is one of our favorite portfolio companies. All of them are our favorites, but Niyo is a card that we use a lot also. We have Vinay here with me. Vinay is the co-founder CEO of Niyo. Welcome, Vinay.
Thank you, Sanjay.
And great to have you here. And, Niyo has evolved a lot over the years. So maybe we can start by your actually talking a little bit about what Niyo is, what scale you are at, and what the next few months holds for Niyo and its customers.
So, Sanjay, thanks a lot for having me here once again. And about Niyo, as you rightly pointed out, we have had our journey, various products. But over the last couple of years, we found our niche in international travel as a solution for any Indian traveling abroad, wanting to have an experience which is seamless, so that the customer can focus on his travels and not on his financial aspect. So, as of today, we offer various cards which solve these problems. And going forward, other than cards, you will have cash, remittances, and anything to do with cross-border as a part of the package available to the customer. Also, as you would see in our campaigns, what we're trying to do is trying to marry the boring world of banking with an exciting world of travel and make it, more where banking meets travel. It can make your dreams come true, and it can make your travel so much more simpler and exciting. So that's what our endeavor now is.
Wonderful. So let's actually talk a little bit about the marketing and some of the recent ads. It's the end of the IPL season. We all know RCB deserves to win. So much for all the Dhoni fans, but sorry about that, maybe we can talk a little bit about the campaign itself. I think there were 3 or 4 ads, right, around 4 different themes.
Yeah.
Maybe nice to just dissect a little bit of them, and maybe first you can tell us what the objectives were, and then we can dive into each of the ads and tell us, what the purpose was and how it was received.
So, Sanjay, there were four ad copies which got released. It took us, a good lot of time, market research, consumer focus to understand what a user's biggest challenges when they travel abroad. And the theme of the campaign was the Niyo way of travel. Like, there is one way of traveling which you are used to today, and then how can you change the way you travel, make it simpler, more efficient with Niyo? That was the whole theme. So around that, we had 4 different kind of campaigns running. So the first one, Sanjay, is our core value proposition. That when you travel abroad, the last thing what you want is to calculate that for every product you are buying, what is the amount of forex charge you're paying to your bank. And hence zero forex, where you don't have to worry. You just swipe your card, and whatever is the interbank rate for the day, very close to that rate will get charged to you.
Right.
But that time it was a 100% transparency. No worries about figuring out that what the rates are and what exactly it is today. Not waiting for a statement to come after 1 month and getting to know. So we have tried to cut out all of that over the years and created a niche in the space where your usual debit card or credit card becomes a forex card, and it is 100% transparent. You can use it on your app. So the idea was to just bring that experience, what a user goes through normally, and then what it would be if it was Niyo.
So let's play that ad.
£450 पे 4% फॉरेक्स,
£18 एक्स्ट्रा, £10 फॉरेक्स एक्स्ट्रा, £20 एक्स्ट्रा.
Need a new way to save on international spends? Enjoy zero forex markup on international debit cards. Download Niyo.
Yeah, so this Sanjay was like taking through a real journey where you're spending and you're realizing you have 4-5% I'll have to pay extra. if I'm using a typical travel card, forex card, credit card, whatever it is. So with Neo, you don't have to worry. It's as if you're shopping in India. So you can shop for better things than just the undergarments is the idea here. If you use
It
Neo.
seemed like it was unaffordable underwear there.
So that's the concept behind this one.
Got it. And that has been a common theme right from the beginning for Neo, right?
Yes.
The zero forex markup.
Yeah.
Um,
So even in the IPL, the first time we did a IPL with our travel theme was 2022, and there the ad, as you would have, I think, remember, it was about zero forex.
right.
But that time it was a novel concept. Today it is more known than where it is earlier, but still remains a major problem to solve for.
Got it. And so, from a consumer perspective, the experience is quite simply: I load rupees in my account, I travel anywhere in the world, I swipe my
Absolutely.
Neo DCB
Absolutely.
bank.
If you are in
Visa
Zara
card.
India or Zara Spain or Zara anywhere in the world, your experience should be exactly similar. You choose a product, you swipe it, and don't have to worry about the exchange rate or if you're in a different part of the world.
Got it. Now, one thing they do ask you in the stores is, do you want to see the amount in rupees or the amount in dollars? Which one do you want to accept, or euros or whatever? There is a right thing to do there
Yeah.
from the consumer perspective. What is the right answer there?
So what we have done, Sanjay, is sometimes you have to do what is good for the consumer, even if the consumer doesn't want it. So these are some rare scenarios. So what happens is a storekeeper would typically turn the money into INR with a nice hefty 5-10% premium. And you ask you whether you want a local currency or Indian currency. Your first reaction naturally is, I'm from India, Indian currency, and you press that button. And when you pay that 5-10%, you think maybe it is Neo who's charging, or you get fleeced by them. So initially we started with a campaign of educating customers, saying that always choose in local currency. We did a whole campaign around it, emails, messages, but still users, at least 20-30% of the users would end up still choosing Indian currency when they're abroad.
Got it.
So finally we disabled that functionality.
Okay.
So if you are abroad and if you're trying to pay with a Neo card in Indian currency at a Zara shop in Spain, it won't work. And you will get a prompt immediately that this is DCC transaction, it is 10% costlier, 5-10% costlier for you. Please opt for local currency.
Got
So
it.
now we have taken away the option itself of us.
Okay, so you just decline the transaction
decline
here
the
and
transaction. We
message
send
the
them
customer
message saying
saying try
that-
again.
Yeah, try again. And the message goes on WhatsApp. So hopefully the customer, even if it doesn't have SIM, he will get the message.
Got it. So yeah, note to all customers, when you're traveling anywhere in the world, please use the local currency for your transaction.
Yes.
Don't ask them to convert it, because the merchant side actually gets a very attractive rate for the
because
merchant.
the whole concept, Sanjay, is that with travel, the Neo way to travel is you are a global citizen. So if you are in Europe, choose Euro. If you are in US, choose dollar. Is as if you're shopping in your own country. Don't look at forex rates. Don't worry about whether you are abroad, whatever. Just keep swiping the Neo card. You'll be taken care of. We'll take care of you. That's the message.
Cool, very cool. All right, so let's talk about the second ad, and this one has the dude in the Australian accent. So let's play the ad, perhaps, and
20 days to Australia, yes!
Neck pillow,
Good eye, mate.
universal chargers,
दो है.
portable jet spray, अपना वीजा.
अभी तक नहीं आया.
Need a new way to get a visa? Get visa on time, every time on the Neo app. Download now.
all right, so this is before the trip itself. So what's this new thing with visas that we are doing? I always thought it was a Visa card.
So Sanjay, as I was mentioning, if you look at the ads also, you will see that there's a real life, and the real life gets mixed with a dreamscape, like a dream life. So which is your Indian banking avatar, let's just say, getting mixed with your traveler avatar, and that's the whole idea. So the idea was that when you are traveling, what are the key pain points? So forex charge was a key pain point. We solved it. The second one, and when we were talking to our own customers, that what else can we solve for you? And the answer came that can you get us a visa next time when we travel? And can you make that process simple, efficient? Because otherwise they depend on travel agent, and you don't know what kind of charges they levy. And typically, I'll tell you, Sanjay, you'll be shocked that when you take a visa, almost 30 to 50% cost of the visa is taken by the travel agents to facilitate it. And it's not needed. Out of 180 countries now, almost 50 countries have electronic stamps. So you don't need to do anything. You upload your documents, automatically your visa will come as e-stamp or your passport. So it is basically completely electronic. You don't need to do anything. And then there is, of course, biometric and all this stuff. So we were trying to find a way to solve the visa problem, not really as a new to Neo. If somebody comes only for visa, most welcome. But the solution is largely for the existing Neo customers who next time when they want to travel abroad, don't have to look at any app beyond Neo. That was the whole idea. And in that, while we also have flight and we'll have hotels and everything you can book through Neo at a price which is better than most. But the big difference or big problem statement is not really flight, because you can book elsewhere also. But visa is definitely a broken process in India. So we took upon ourselves to solve it, ensure that we will give you a good experience at a rate which is unmatched in the industry. So that was the idea, that we will, when you go with Neo, it will ensure that your visa comes on time if we have committed you a time, and the price will be whatever is the least possible in the industry.
Got it.
So the product has gone live already, and as we were advertising.
Very nice.
Glad to say that we are already among the top digital visa issuers in the country.
Very nice. And what would the top countries be where people are applying and traveling on from as tourists from India, out of, just for the audience's curiosity? Is it Dubai, Singapore, Australia? We had an Australian accent here, so I'm curious.
The reason there was an Australian accent there is these are visas which you never know when they're going to come if you are like stuck normally. So it is better to especially if you're looking at a Schengen visa or a US visa or Australia visa, it is better to go with a vendor you can trust, and you can trust the whole process to go with it. But to answer your question, where majority of the visas get, at least for India, I mean, there is really no guesses, no marks for guessing. It is Dubai. So, especially in the January, February, March, April months, it is like a mad rush to go to Dubai. After that, it slows down a little bit. Still, it is among the top 2-3 all the time.
Got it.
And then the next one is Southeast Asian countries, depending on how Thailand is doing. If the visa on arrival is free, then you'll have more people going there. Otherwise, like Bali, for example, is another very popular destination where visa gets stamped in India. Vietnam visa gets stamped in India. Turkey is another destination where you don't need to really pre-plan. You can just immediately apply. E-visa comes really fast. So there's some of these countries which enable visa fast. And hence, for anybody who is doing a impromptu travel, these destinations become the choice of travel.
Got it. Great. Well, let's look at the next two ads also. This one had somebody, stuffing money in their toys and their shoes.
Packing for Vietnam. Packing for Vietnam.
Vietnam! Where's my bag?
It's in Mongolia. Need a new way to travel cash-free? Get free ATM withdrawals globally. Download Neo.
Yeah, so first of all, even the script of this ad, right? Vietnam, and then the bag goes to Mongolia. Any specific reason for the choice of these countries?
No, Vietnam, as I mentioned, is a very popular destination. That is one. Second, that is
and Mongolia is not a popular destination.
Mongolia is definitely not so popular. And the other bit is Vietnam is also very cash heavy kind of a market, because there are a lot of areas where you are more comfortable spending cash, and also the currency is such that you will need to carry wads of it if you are only carrying cash there.
Got it.
So the message here is that 93% of Indians today, when they travel abroad, they have at least some kind of cash with them, which is fine. You want to be averse of risk, and you want to ensure that when you land there, at least you have cash to your taxi takes you to the hotel, worst case situation, which is fair. But beyond that, like to carry cash as your primary way of spending abroad is really doesn't make sense. You will have the challenges of it getting lost and customs, etc. And most people don't realize that ATM withdrawal, when you withdraw cash from ATM, the process is very similar to withdrawing from India ATM.
Yeah.
So it is not that there's something dramatic which is going to happen because of which you won't be able to withdraw or things like that. You can just go and withdraw as if you're withdrawing in India. That is point number one. The challenge happens is that people are still thinking that when you withdraw cash from an ATM abroad, the charges are going to be disproportionately high. But actually, that is not the case. One is with Neo, the forex charges are zero. So anyway, when you are withdrawing, it is as good as withdrawing INR. ATM cost is there because that is levied by the bank which is there and the network partner. So, but what we have tried to do is we have reimbursed this ATM cost, whatever is incurred by the customer at the ATM kiosk abroad, in the way of Neo coins, and which effectively means that whatever amount of money is charged as an ATM fee, 100% of that fee is reversed back in Neo coins. And these coins are usable. They are not like you're not able to use. The easiest way to use it, you get these coins and you book a domestic flight. The flight is cheapest among all platforms available. In fact, for an inaugural offer, we don't even have a convenience fee. So effectively, whatever ATM your money you are spending abroad, you can book an Indian flight, domestic in India, abroad, book a visa, take insurance, book an experience, do whatever you want. It's almost as good as cash.
Why are you telling me this now? 1 month ago, I was traveling in the US and he never told me all of this stuff. Now, as soon as I come back, he's telling me all these things.
Because we also have to save money, Sanjay. We anyway know you're going to use Neo.
No, so this is awesome. From a consumer perspective, that's great, right? Because yes, there is a cost at that time, but there's no markup, so there's no real additional cost on the per. It doesn't matter whether we withdraw $20 or $200, it's the same thing.
And again, Sanjay, going back to the concept, Neo way of travel is that you have to travel as if you are in India. Like whether you're going to Goa or you're going to Vietnam or you're going to Bali, it should not be any different from you. When you go to Vietnam, you go Goa, for example, you don't carry 100,000 cash. You would carry whatever is the basic necessity. And beyond that, you will dip your card in the ATM and without any thoughts, the cash will come out. When you travel abroad, whatever thoughts are there, one is in terms of ATM, what is going to happen to exchange rate, will the card work or not there at the ATM, and then third, of course, what are the charges of ATM? We have taken away all the problems. So we are saying that the world has become connected, world has become global. Why do you want to travel the way you were traveling abroad earlier? You should be using the Neo way of travel. That's the whole concept behind this.
Got it. And then the last ad which we can talk about, I guess you said it's about acceptance, because ultimately for people, they're trusting that this is going to work when they land at the other end of the planet. And so let's play that ad and then we can talk about it.
No accept.
Yele.
No accept.
Excusez-moi, no accept.
Need a new way to pay abroad? International debit cards accepted in 180 countries. Download Neo.
So Sanjay, this is another very like a common occurrence that you will take your card and it may not work abroad, especially because when a card is issued,
especially in a debit card situation, right? I think
absolutely in debit credit cards, when they're issued to you initially, they come with a lock. International and online transactions are locked. Online, typically you will unlock because that is a natural behavior. But international, unless you are reminded, unless there is some journey built for you, thinking in the mind that you're going to travel abroad, which majority of the cards don't build that journey because they are not for an international specific use case. They are largely for an India use case. So then what happens is, one, you're not able to do the locks, you're not able to adjust your international limits. There are a lot of things you need to do on the app before the card becomes fully functional abroad. And typically when you travel abroad, you're not thinking, you will assume that it is going to work abroad, and it doesn't happen. So that is problem number one. Problem number two, a lot of fraud happens on where the data of the card is with a scamster, let's say, and he would be using it abroad. And hence most banks go conservative and try and force a user to give a declaration that I'm going to travel abroad. Only then allow that. If you don't declare, they will decline the card. And then they will try to reach you on phone. Most people would have changed their SIM by then, so the phone calls won't reach. They're not international roaming. So it is a very broken experience there. So what we have tried to do with our card is that our primary use case is international travel. You can of course use the product in India. You can do UPI transaction. It's a full-fledged bank account. or a full-fledged credit card. Either way, it's a full-fledged product. But it is designed for international usage. And the idea is that the card should work as well outside India as it is working in India. Just because you've not told your banker that today you're in India and tomorrow you're going to be in Switzerland doesn't mean the card should not work in Switzerland.
Right.
So that's the message we're trying to give here, that when you use a Niyo card, we have thought through all your journeys, that when you get to the airport, typically the first behavior is withdraw from the airport ATM. We advise against it, but that's the costliest in the ATM, because everybody knows that they're going to use. So banks are paying hefty money to put their ATMs in airport. They're going to charge, but it's a peace of mind thing. So you get in the airport and withdraw money from the ATM. We've got you covered there. You book a Grab or you book a Lyft or a Uber, whatever, depending on which country you are. We've got that covered. You go to hotel and you want to make a booking, a reservation for your hotel, pay over your hotel, put a block on your hotel, all you can do that. You want to take a taxi, which you want to lease and just want to put a security hold on the taxi, you can do that. Then of course you can walk into any store, you want to book a next connecting flight. All of that and more is possible on the Niyo card. And if you want to do an experience also, so let's say you are in Paris and you don't want to get into a line to get to Eiffel Tower, you can just go to the Niyo app and make the payment and move on in life. So the whole idea is that again and again the theme is there has been a traditional way to travel and there is a Niyo way to travel. And we have tried to figure out what are the biggest things people worry about when they travel, right from will I get my visa on time? When I go there, will I have to worry about carrying a lot of cash and how much cash should I carry? When I land there, when I'm purchasing anything, should I always be thinking of conversion charges? Should I think local, think global? And then finally, will my card work at all? And how much of cash can you eventually carry? Right. So these are the things we thought was while we have a lot of other features, but these were the most resonating with the latest of the problem sets. And no better platform than IPL to kind of Sanjay bring it out. We experienced it in 2022 also. People just loved those ads, and we had a big benefit coming out of it for us. But what happened is the category got created. So 5 years ago, when we first time created just showed the world that a debit card can become a forex card. At that point in time, majority of the market used to use a typical multi-currency card to travel abroad. And now actually it's the other way around. The majority of the market either travels with a credit card or a debit card, and they're fine with it. And for us, to be the pioneer in the field, to be the market leader, the responsibility is always on us to not only innovate on the product, but also educate as much as we can,
right,
so the users can enjoy their travel better.
Right. No, and kind of a similar thing happened with telecom, right? I remember going country to country, you would get a local SIM card and stuff like that, but now you just pay for 30 days roaming and you're done. And it works much better, and it's probably a lot more cost effective. The same way you're doing this mindset shift from...
That's a beautiful analogy, Sanjay. That if you are not having to change your SIM card, why should you be having to change your card or change your behavior when you're traveling abroad?
Right. And from the same perspective, you should be able to use the same card even back here in India as well, right? And how are users looking at it? Do they see it as a travel card only for use for abroad, or do they come back and also start using it in India as well? Are you seeing that transition happening with people as well?
So
you said things like coins and stuff like that can be redeemed here. Yeah.
So the way it works, Sanjay, is that everybody has a different way of looking at the product. So there are few customers who would look at it as an international travel product. Whenever I'm traveling, I will travel over to use it. There's other set of people who think that one is I've saved money on travel. The other is Niyo is offering me the best interest rate in the market. With our product with DCB offers up to 8%. So people take it as a deposit account. Okay, once I've finished my travel, let me keep money here. It is earning significantly better than most of the large banks. So that is another behavior. And third, of course, is to use it as a spend account, because you have seen that when Niyo is able to provide you a secure account outside India, they can definitely take care of security, etc. in India. So they use it like a budgeting tool and a spend account where you park your monthly expenses, and you know that it is significantly less riskier than exposing your whole account for doing day-to-day transactions. So these are three different use cases for people. But if you were to ask me a number, like 60-70% of the users either keep money or use it in India.
Got it. Great. No, and with Indians traveling abroad more frequently, I think before we close, you could share a few numbers that you have typically at the top of your head of how fast international travel is growing, especially for both the student community as well as casual tourists. It was astounding to me to hear some of that actually. So I'll let you close with some of those thoughts here.
Yeah. So travel, Sanjay. I'll start from certain themes which are emerging. So when I started my banking career in 2003, I was in personal loans, and per personal loan, you require to have a reason for a customer why he's taking personal loan. He needs to declare that reason.
Yeah.
And in 2003, 2004, the majority reason was I'm building a house, I'm running short of money, my dad's unwell, somebody else in the family is unwell, my sister's getting married or I'm getting married. So that used to be like 95% of the loans. The purpose was very, very, I would say, in the Maslow's hierarchy, very, very at the bottom of the pyramid, that I'm going to use it for my shelter and for my living and survival.
Roti kapda makan.
Roti kapda
shadi,
makan used to be and it kept changing to today, when almost 40 to 50% of all personal loans are taken for travel. It is just astounding that typically what used to happen in that time, and even till 2015, was the first loan of a youngster was to buy a mobile. Or if you're earning well, buy a car, and then buy a house, and then think. Today, the first EMI, majority of the youngsters are actually shelling out, is for experience, is for travel. So naturally, it's caused a massive boom in the market. We offer our product only to those customers who have passport. It is our way of really filtering out serious players. You can come in, like our product can be used in India. So you take a product and use it in India. But in India, we don't provide the kind of value, a differentiator which we provide when you use it abroad. So in India, it is good, but abroad it is great. So we would actually like to, and it's a limited bandwidth we have to create brilliant products. So we would like the customers who have passport to experience this abroad and then continue to use it in India.
Right.
So hence that's a gate for us, that you need to have a passport to use Niyo. Now, when we started the business 5 years back, hardly 5 crores Indians had passport. And in 5 years, that number has jumped to 10 crores. So the number of passport getting issued today is at a record level. So that is data point number one, why travel, and especially international travel, is really going through the roof.
Wow.
Second data point is just the cost and the mathematics around it. So if you book a flight from Bangalore to Delhi or Banaras, let's say. Now, everybody in India wants to travel to Banaras. Everybody in India wants to go to Srinagar. Kashmir has been off charts for years now. So almost everybody is really keen to go to Kashmir. Now, flight from Bangalore to Kashmir or Bangalore to Banaras is costlier than most of the flights from Bangalore to the Southeast Asian countries. You can go to Thailand, you can go to Dubai, you can go to Bali in Vietnam, in fact, as a lesser cost. In Malaysia is running some crazy schemes, so you can go there at a much lesser cost than there. So that is another financial logic that people are bound to travel abroad, and it is not going to change anytime soon. Because there's a rush to travel locally, and hence the prices are up, and hence in the same price you can travel abroad. So that is another trend which is happening. And as a result, Sanjay, the number of people who would have stepped out of India in the last 12 months, April to March, if we take, it'll be in excess of 30 million. 3 crore Indians have traveled abroad. And the number of students who are enrolling abroad is also increasing at a breakneck speed. Like you would go back hardly 5 years and say maybe 500,000 Indians would be every year going and registering abroad. Now the number is 1.2 million. Like this is expected to find the data is going to come out. It is going to be around 1.2, 1.3 million students traveling abroad. Because India is getting richer. You would have seen the Goldman Sachs report that we will have 100 million people in the middle class. And international studies still is an aspirational thing, especially in fields like tech, etc., where there is an interest to do either undergrad or postgrad. majority of the kids from India who travel abroad do postgrad, around 60 to 70%.
Yeah, but it's also things like, when the war started from Ukraine, and the Indian students had to be airlifted out. I was shocked to see how many were studying medicine in
there,
Ukraine, right? And yeah.
So the trend is a secular trend, Sanjay. It is not changing anytime too soon. More and more Indians will pursue studies abroad. It is growing at 30% pace for the last 2 years. Similarly, most people will travel at least once abroad, and both these trends suits us perfectly. In fact, earlier we were always in two minds where it will continue to grow at the pace it is growing post-COVID, and we thought maybe it's a revenge travel which will very soon die down. But it is, if anything, accelerated. I mean, if you want to take a visa for Italy, my best advice is plan 6 months early.
Wow.
Because it is very, very, very difficult. All slots are booked and...
Terrific. Great. So, thanks a lot, Vinay. Lovely to see these ads on TV. And, I still remember the first time we met and just were brainstorming through a couple of concepts. And, to sit here a few years later and see the ads on TV, it's a really nice experience. Maybe we can end with your showing off the latest Niyo card that you've got there at the back of your phone.
Yes. So, when I travel abroad, Sanjay, that's all. So, this is my phone to communicate, and this is the card to spend. I really don't carry anything else. Best of luck to me if something goes wrong. But yeah, it's been 5 years now, so nothing is. I mean, that's, you have to put yourself in the front line if you want to win the battle. So yeah, this is the latest card. I am of course a big fan of yacht. So so there's a yacht.
It's also very aspirational, I guess, for tourists.
Of course.
Great. So thanks a lot for joining us and sharing these insights on the ad campaign. I know it's been growing very well, and may RCB win, of course. Yay.
Yes, this year cup is yours, Sanjay.
Yeah, cup is ours. Anyway, to all the non-RCB fans, sorry, you can try next year, but this year is ours. The team of destiny. Good luck to the team, and all the best to Niyo in your campaign. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Dear listeners, thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast app for free, and you'll be the first one to know when new episodes are available. Just search for Prime Venture Partners podcast in Apple Podcast, Spotify, Castbox, or however you get your podcasts. Then hit subscribe. And if you have enjoyed the show, we would be really grateful if you leave us a review on Apple Podcast. To read the full transcript, find the link in the show notes.